Okay guys, we'll start off this haul with the new Jumper T8SG Plus. And I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this review. I'm going to have a separate video on this, on basically an unboxing and probably an initial review, and then probably more subsequent videos after that. I'll put a card in the corner to that video when it comes out, and you guys can watch that, but I will save the unboxing for that video. Okay, got a couple of new flight stacks from HGLRC. I believe these are both based off the same set. This is the Titan Plus F460, and I believe one comes with, this one comes with the GTX 585. And this set here comes with the video transmitter, the GTX 585, so basically it's the same boards. This one just comes with a third half-size board for the video transmitter, and I'll have a full review on this combo and probably some sort of a build later. So stay tuned for that. Okay, just got in the new Tello drone here. This is sort of a toy grade drone, but with technology from DJI and Intel. So I know a lot of other people have been reviewing this, so I guess I figure I might as well review it as well. We'll see how good this is. I know that the video quality is pretty decent on this one, although it is only 720p. But this is got some pretty good software, obviously from DJI, so it should be very stable, and we'll find out later in the review. Okay, just picked up some new micromotors here from DYS. These are the 1404, the 4300 kV, and the 6000 kV. These are sort of micro-sized motors with the T-style props, so the two screws, 1.5mm shaft here, and then I think we have a 2mm shaft on the bottom. It's a 12mm hole pattern, not the 9mm, so it's going to be for frames that fit the 13 size motors, 13XX size motors, so keep that in mind. I know that there are other motors like the 1304s and the 1404s from RotorX that have the 9mm hole pattern. They'll fit the 11XX motor size, so keep that in mind. Fairly long enough motor wire here. I'd say this is probably about 80 to 90 millimeters, not quite as long as like the other hobby motor that I reviewed the other day, but yeah, I'll check out these motors in future videos pretty soon, so stay tuned for those. I'm not sure what I'm going to be putting these on, but definitely be testing these out. Okay, got a couple things here from Nysy. I think this is a new frame, the Kuhn H5 5.5 inch FPV racing frame. This is supposed to be like an ultralight or fairly light design. Kind of see the arm here, skinny. Yeah, I'm not gonna take all the parts out. It just doesn't feel super light, but it is a 5.5 inch frame. I'm going to be getting some other parts from Nysy to do a build, and I'll do a frame review of this pretty soon, so stay tuned for that video. At least you get to see the frame. And then they also sent me this little stubby antenna here. It's called the Super Mini S. Yeah, and that kind of looks like a larger Axie, maybe. I'm not sure what technology this is based on, but this will probably go going on this build. So if you want to see how this antenna performs, it'll eventually go onto the build for the Kuhn H5. Okay, got another toy drone here from JJRC. I believe this is called the H62, and they named it the Splendor. It has optical flow positioning, and it's foldable. It comes in a pretty nice box here. Yeah, and I think it just opens up with some magnets in the front here. Yeah, very nice box, and obviously you could store your drone in here. Looks like you got some spare props. This looks very similar to the form factor a lot of these folding drones have had before. I think this is all Wi-Fi FPV camera here, and it's all controlled by your phone. And you can see the arms pop out and they lock in. Got a battery down here, small camera. I'm not sure what the megapixels or if it's 720p or not, but it looks like it's a little bit like a wider angle camera. Kind of similar to like the one on the the Eachine E58, I believe. It's kind of like that camera actually. So it might be pretty good. I'll have a review on this one, and we'll see how good it is later on. Okay, so I got the Dark Knight frame in from Airblade. He sent me a prototype before that was a 2-inch version. This is a 2.5-inch version, and it's meant to be an ultralight. So obviously it's kind of a very unusual looking frame. Sort of a split deck design where you have motors in the front that are lower than the motors in the back. So you can basically fly without as much tilt, and the motors in the back still gets clean air, and supposedly it's better for tuning and all that. We'll find out. We should see the effect more on a 2.5-inch setup. I'm going to try to build an ultralight build here. something pretty, I would say less than 80 grams, 75 grams. That's like, at least that's my goal for this one. And it's pretty simple frame. Both of the top plate and bottom plate are the same cutouts. So that's why it looks like this. But I'll have a frame review and then a build review at some point later on. So stay tuned for those. Okay, we got the new DYS Shark Maco. This is a ready-to-fly kit. Comes with a transmitter, the drone, and a battery. I think a charger as well, but no FPV goggles. So we've got a manual for the kit, and we have a manual for the transmitter. It's called the Mr. Q remote control. Interesting. Okay, we got a USB cable. We got a wall adapter for this charger here, and then this one does 2 to 3 cells. There's the barrel plug, and we have a balance plug on this side for 2 or 3 cell batteries. We have a spare set of props here. These are look somewhat like the jump fans, but they look a little different too. And this is the remote control, mode 2. Pretty nice. Definitely toy grade quality, but like higher end toy grade quality. A little on off button here. Looks like I've turned it. Looks like it has a battery already in here. We have a little joystick here, another button here. Couple buttons here, a couple switches. I think this here pops open for a monitor. You can put a monitor in here. It's kind of nice that you put a small FPV monitor in there, and then you got an LCD screen here. And here's the drone itself. Yeah, it's pretty hefty. 2-inch props. We have, I think, a 3S LiPo back here, 600 milliamp hour 3S LiPo 25C, and now it does come with an XD30 connector, so that's good. If you remember the DYS ELF from a while back, that one had like a proprietary connector. It's pretty hard to find batteries, but we're using a standard connector here. It just plugs in right there. Pretty nice. Got a USB port in the back, so obviously probably Betaflight configurator, all that kind of stuff. The motors on here are the 1104 5400 kV, so kind of a low kV, so that's probably why they're doing 3S, and that's why it's carrying around a lot of extra weight. These prop guards they don't feel like they're too super flexible, so probably give a little bit, but I think that in a hard crash you'll probably break some of these, and it doesn't look like they give you any spares of these. But yeah, I'll have a review on this coming up pretty soon, so stay tuned. Okay, so I got a few more things here from the Nysy that is going to be for the 5.5-inch build. We got the iFlight Ion Drive 2207 2500 kV motors. I have these motors already, but I haven't done a video on them because I haven't put them in anything, but I'm going to definitely put this into that build. And then we have, looks like this is a TPU landing pad for that 5.5-inch build, so this will protect your battery and give you the launching angle for the battery, or for the drone. And then they also sent me this Dow Cyclone 5544 propeller, so 5.5-inch prop for that 5.5-inch drone. So this will go all into that build, so stay tuned for that video. Okay, got some more parts here. We've got some new motors here from RotorX, the 1404 3600 kV. And so you get your standard mounting screws and also the screws for the prop. Just gets 2 holes for the prop here, not the 4 traditional. And I think that this motor has a special notches for their 3-bladed propeller. I think that's what this is actually meant for, but I don't actually have that propeller. And we have a standard 9mm hole pattern on the bottom, not the ones for the 13 or 14 size motors. It's actually for the 11 size motor. It's actually meant for the smaller micros. This is actually, I think, designed for a 3-inch, although you could probably do a 2.5-inch. And a little closer look at the motor. Very well constructed. Open bottom design. 24 gauge wire here. Looks not that long. So it looks about 100 millimeters of motor wire. And here's a look at the top again. Pretty nice windings. Magnets are, I think they're flat magnets. Not much notching. Yeah, looks like a pretty nice motor. We're going to be putting this on something, not sure 100% yet, but you'll find out pretty soon. Okay, got a couple more, I think, video transmitters from AKK. And we got the X2 Ultimate and the FX2 Ultimate. Looks like there's some frequency charts on the back, and some of these are crossed out, possibly because they're illegal in certain certain countries, maybe the United States. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like some of these are not available. So this is the X2 Ultimate, and so it looks like a normal old school style video transmitter. MMCX connector. Now the reason they call this Ultimate is because it can do up to 1200 milliwatts, so it's going to give you some serious range. And inside the box you got your MMCX to SMA adapter, and got your wiring loom here for power, and also video, and also for smart audio. And this the SMA adapter is for actually RP SMA. And another quick look at the video transmitter. Obviously you get the smart audio, 5 volts for your camera. It takes regular battery voltage, 7 to 26 volts. And on this side you get your, let's say, a little microphone, LED, one single button operation, but of course most people will probably be using the smart audio feature. So basically it's the same as the X2. That went to 600 milliwatts, but this one goes up to 1200 milliwatts. Okay, so here we got the FX2 Ultimate. Basically it's the X2 Ultimate in a 30 by 30 form factor. So I believe the FX2 was also 30 by 30 and was only 600 milliwatts. So this is not going to be all that different. And in fact here I have an FX2 I brought in here on the right, and you can see everything's the same, the layout's the same, it's got the same parts. A little bit different regulator here. It's probably a much stronger one for the 600 milliwatt output. And the backs are flat for both of these. So just giving you a comparison look at the two different ones. And you get the same wiring loom and MMCX2 SMA adapter, and this is for RP SMA antennas. Okay, we got another product here from FurryBee. I don't think it looks like this. I believe it's some sort of a Betaflight based tiny whoop. Yeah, so they're just using the box in here, but they're calling this the F36S, but it's based off the F3 SB Racing F3 board, so it's got Betaflight on here, and I think this is some kind of a kit. Yeah, so it's supposed to look like this, standard tiny whip style with the camera on top. It gives you a layout. Everything's in Chinese though. Okay, so we have English on the other side here. So Chinese on one side, English on the other. And yeah, this is a description of the camera, a description of the flight controller, and some Betaflight setup instructions. Yeah, so this is the camera that comes part of the kit here. You got your power connector. I'm not familiar with what model this is. I think this is, if I'm correct, this is actually a pretty good camera. Now, if you've been following my community posts on the community section of my channel, you know that I put up the flash sale of this on there. I don't think it's on flash sale currently, but when it was on flash sale, this kit was selling for like $32, I believe, so a pretty good deal. Okay, so here's the rest of the kit. You got your frame. You got some props, and I think this frame is kind of like the E010 frame, but I think this is for 6mm motors, and you do get 4 of the 6mm motors, but I don't know how you can tell the difference between the clockwise and counterclockwise. They all look the same color. That's kind of weird. They include this USB battery charger, but I don't see any batteries. It's kind of strange. You know, this is the flight controller based off the SB Racing F3 target, so it's a little bit older. No Betaflight OSD, but it's going to be a simpler build. You get your little mounting hardware and the battery connector, so I'll have to do some soldering. Should be a pretty easy build. To build many of these before, but mainly I wanted to get this to show you guys that it does go on flash sale once. I've seen it on flash sale before for about $30. So if you're looking to get into tiny whoops, this is something you might want to keep an eye on. I think it's a little over 40 right now, not that great of a deal, but if it drops to around 30, that's actually a pretty good deal if you want to do your own custom Betaflight tiny whoops and not spend a ton of money. Okay, we got a prototype frame here from FlexRC. This isn't actually out yet, I don't believe, but it's the ultralight 2.5-inch frame, and can fit either 07OX motors or the 11OX motors. So you can do 1S or 2S or 3S on this. Although it's ultralights, I'm not sure if 3S is a good idea. Very skinny arms, but fairly stiff. You can see that's cut properly, parallel to the arms here. It looks like a True X. And then the cage here is a low profile cage. So I'm going to be doing a 1S build on this, probably with some 0806 motors actually. So stay tuned for that. That should be an interesting build.